Now for the rabbit, it's actually a flying rabbit whistle. So we're going to start with the whistle and make sure that it works. And it works. So I'm going to put this on the bottom again. No need for that to be on the top, it'll just be in my way. And I'm going to start with my little nose at the tip. Little triangle. Teeny little nose. I'm going to score and slip it, even though it's a teeny little piece. It doesn't matter, I still need to score and slip. Everything gets scored and slipped. Especially when we're adding leather hard clay to plastic clay. Actually, we're adding plastic clay to leather hard clay is what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Okay. That's probably too big, but it's so hard to get them small. Okay, then I'm going to put on my eyes. Score it and slip it. And I think I'm going to make this rabbit. Nah, he has wings. I was going to make him crazy, but I don't want a flying crazy rabbit. That's just scary. Score it and slip it. Touch my eyeballs. And then I'm going to flatten out my pancake for the eyelids. Those are quite a bit bigger than the other ones I did. Use my fettling knife to cut it in half. Then I'm going to score it behind the eye and slip it good. And attach my eyelids. And then the final step on the eyes, and you need to do this before it gets dry. So as soon as you make your eyes, you need to put the holes in for the eyes, because if it gets dry, it'll crack when you try to do it. Okay. Now I'm going to make my ears. I've got 2 balls of clay the same size. I'm going to flatten it out, and as I flatten it, I'm squeezing it into a big almond shape. I don't want it too skinny or too thin. Not too thin. That's about as thin as I can go. Kind of make a little scoop there for the inside of the ear. Make into kind of a little spoon. Spoon! Squeeze out my ear shape. I'm going to lay them next to each other to see that they're about the same size. I can feel that this one has a little bit less clay, but I think it looks okay. I'm okay with that. Alright, then I'm going to score it and score here. Score, score, score. Score, score, score. Now, especially since these are standing straight up, you're going to have to be careful and make sure that you don't make those too thin. If you make it really thin, it's definitely going to break. You don't want to make it and break it. Not cool. Not cool, man. And smooth that in. I'm going to smooth it in just the back. I think that'll be sufficient. Okay, now this bunny, I'm going to make one ear go down and one ear go out like that. Then use this to kind of clean up a little bit of that slip that got out of control there. Okay, now this bunny design, it has wings. I'm not going to get to, there's no room for wings on there now. I would have had to make my eyes way smaller if I were going to do wings. So instead of doing the wings, I'm just going to put on my little bunny tail. On your booty, bunny tail. Score my tail. And then attach it, smooth it in at least one spot. But don't smooth stuff in. Don't smooth your individual parts in like all over because then it won't look individual. All right, maybe a few little cute little marks there. Little whiskers coming out of there. Oh no, I'm a whistle. But it works. Bunny rabbit. Penguin whistle. So I start with my, I'm going to make a fat penguin. Start with my whistle. Make sure my whistle is working. Then this one, that's going to be on the back again. I don't really need that to be on the front. Okay, so I'm going to start with my feet this time. And make 2 balls of clay the same size. Oh, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and make them really big. I'm going to make those feet ridiculously big. So I'm going to flatten these out, these 2 balls of clay the same size. Flatten them out, twisting, turning the ball of clay and squishing at the same time to flatten those out. Then I'm going to cut with my fettling knife in 2 spots. Make sure that don't meet. Make sure that those 2 spots where you cut don't meet. And then I'm going to separate it and squeeze it. Separate and squeeze, separate and squeeze. On both of those, separate and squeeze, separate and squeeze, separate and squeeze. And then I squish them back together a little bit. Squish them back together a little bit. Now I'm going to score and slip the bottom of my whistle. And then I'm going to put these where I want them, score them up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and put some slip on those too, just to make sure that if there's any negative space, it fills it in and attaches it. Okay, and set them right next to each other there. And I'm going to set my whistle on top. Oh, whoops, wrong direction. Twist it a little bit more. Okay, that's ridiculous. Those are huge. Those are huge feet. You don't have to make yours that big, but I think it's funny. All right, now, the back of the penguin, he needs a tail. So I'm going to take a ball of clay, I'm going to flatten it out into a big fat teardrop shape. Kind of a candy corn shape, like that. And that could have been bigger, but I'm okay with that. And I'm going to flatten it a little bit there because I want it to smooth in. So that will all be attached there. Score it. Okay, now score it here, and I got to be careful, very careful around where the air comes out because it's working at the moment. It works right now, so hopefully, getting clay in your mouth is the least favorite part of this project. Okay, and I'm going to smooth it in carefully, carefully, oh, so very carefully. Oh, so careful there, so careful around that opening. And then I'm going to turn it up a little bit so it sits down on the table. It still works. Okay, now I'm going to start with my eyes, nose, my eyeballs. Those feet are ridiculous. They are ridiculous. They're so silly. And my eyelids. Notice I make a slightly bigger pancake for my eyelids if I make small eyes. I want to make sure that goes over. And then cut it in half with my fettling knife. And then score it. Score, 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 score. Score, 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 score. Score, score, score. Score, score, score. Score, 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 score. Score, 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 score. And attach my slip. I think I might have enough slip on there for the eyes and the eyelids. Alright, this one, he's going to be angry. I'm going to put some more slip on the back of this because there's going to be some negative space in there. I want to make sure that it's filled in. Alright, let's make him angry. Angry penguin. March of the Penguins. Angry. Angry March of the Penguins. Rawr, rawr, rawr. And then I'm going to put my eyeballs in. Rawr. And then, that's risky there. I better make sure it works. Still works. It looks like Marvin the alien right now. Alright, until I do this. Put on his penguin beak. I'm going to make a long, tall pyramid and kind of bend it a little bit. Okay. He just turned into Angry Bird. He is no longer a penguin, and I'm okay with that too. As you're working, artist, you need to keep an open mind. Your idea is there for inspiration. If your idea changes as you're working, go with it. If you like the way it's looking, go with it. Oh, whoops, I didn't score on the face. Okay, now a distinguishing characteristic on birds. They have these little holes right here, presumably to breathe with. Alright, one last thing on him. He needs some wings. He's a pretty bulky guy right now. He's got a lot of stuff on him. He's heavier than he was before, that's for sure. But is he angry? Yes. Oh yes. Oh yes, he is angry. You better believe it, brother. I'll roll it up, make my teardrop shape. Yeah, that works. So as I'm making I make a pancake, but I squeeze with my outside fingers at the same time to form that teardrop. And then I'm going to check them out together to make sure that they are about the same size. And then what do I do next, children? You score and slip, Miss Littlefinger. What? Do I score and slip? Is that what I do? Yes, Miss Littlefinger, you've been doing that forever. Yes, you still score and slip. Why you keep asking us if you score and slip? Alright, and then I have to put on my wings. Angry Bird. Now, if you want that to be a penguin, you make the eyes and the nose beak smaller, and then you'd have an oval on the belly for that white spot. But this guy, he just turned into an Angry Bird. Okay, now you can also add textures. This wooden stick is good for adding textures. Just give him a few lines here. Ooh, I just picked it up in an awkward position. And then a few lines back here. Adds interest, makes it even cooler. Angry Bird still works. Angry Pig Whistle. Actually, it's a vampire pig whistle. It's even worse than Angry Pig. Find a working whistle. My working whistle. Then I'm going to make the snout. Start with my snout first, which is just a flat cylinder. That's too big for me. You might like it that big. That's a little too big for me. So try that again. Okay, that works. That works for me. So I score it really well with the flat side of my scoop tool and slip it, score it, attach it. And then a distinguishing characteristic, of course, the snout has two holes right there and there in his little snout. Now for his eyes, make 3 balls of clay, 2 the same size, and 1 for the eyelids. I press it down and I turn it as I go. Now when I tell you that You can't have anything thicker than your thumb or thinner than your pinky. That's if it's away from the body. If I have a really small piece like this, obviously that is thinner than my pinky, but it's attached to the major piece of clay, so it's fine because we're going to meld it into the other piece of clay. And I need to score my little bitty pieces. Score, 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 score. Score, score, score. Score, score, score. And score where my piggy eyes go. Piggy, piggy, piggy. Here, piggy, 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 piggy. Everybody make a pig noise. Okay, quiet piggies. Pig. I put enough slip on there that I don't know that yeah, I do. I do need some more slip. I need the slip on the back of my eyelids. And then attach my piggy's eyeballs. Yeah, I used plenty of slip on there to make sure that it filled in that negative space. Okay. I want those eyebrows or eyelids to be symmetrical. Then I come in with my little wooden stick. Yep, the wooden stick. The wooden stick. The wooden stick. Alright, or some other like tool. And clean that up a little bit. And I have to have my wooden stick to make my eyes. What did I do with my wooden stick? I lost my wooden stick. Alright, I'll find my wooden stick in a minute. Right now I'm going to use my pencil. Remember, you need to put those irises in when it's wet. Don't wait till the next day. Oh! Oh, but you know what? He's angry. I forgot. He's a vampire pig. Oh well. We could have made him look a little bit scarier. And I don't know that he needs that mouth. The mouth on here, I don't think he needs that. I think he just needs fangs hanging out the end. Alright, let me put his ears on first to see what that looks like. Alright. 2 balls of clay the same size because I need my ears to be the same size. Then I squish it and squeeze, squeeze, squish, squeeze, squish, squeeze. Squish, squeeze, squeeze, squish, squeeze, squish, squeeze. Okay. I'm going to use this to round that out a little bit. Before I got expensive art tools, my tools that I used at home when I was your age, I used a metal kitchen fork for scoring, and a kitchen knife, and a pencil for making textures. So you really can use just about anything with clay. And remember, the place to get clay in this area is Brackert Ceramics and Lawrence. It's called Good Earth Clay. They are the place to go. Piggy, piggy, piggy! Okay, now, I might have a little bit of a design flaw here because I don't know now if I have room to blow into that whistle. I'm going to see. Oh, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's not working. Alright, clear the passageway. It works. Okay. Alright, so there's my little piggy. Now, do I want him to be Demon Piggy? I'm not sure. Let's try and see what it looks like if we give him little fangs. What's really going to make him look like a Demon Piggy is fangs and blood. He's going to need some blood. Which is kind of scary because if you've grown up or if you've ever been around a farm, if you've ever been around pigs, the big pigs can be vicious. They can be very, very, very scary. So a vampire pig, oh dude, that would so scare me. I would not mess with a vampire pig. He looks a little bit like a walrus. Huh. Alright, Vampire pig.